I still hear the cat. Welcome to Section 31, episode number 245. I'm Dan Hammond, and with me is Rogue Schindler and his cat, who was apparently
Princess
several
Luna
moves away.
Loudcat.
Yes. Welcome back. It's been several weeks. What do we have to discuss?
Well, neither of us has gone to an event still. Neither of us has played with any new cards
Correct?
because we haven't been to an event. Have you read any new cards?
I read several
I
of the
took-
cards.
I took a bunch of notes on things to talk about last week, and the machine that they were on ran out of juice before I saved the notes, and so I just started it up, and they're gone. So I had
Wow.
thoughts, but
All
they're
right.
gone.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reference my email that I sent to you that was last week when we said, okay, we can't do it this week, but then we'll talk about these things next week.
Yes.
So, 1E rulings. This has came up because we're involved in a ruling about this at Gen Con, right? So,
Well,
let me
at Gen
explain.
Con was the most recent of a long line of involvements in this ruling.
All right, so here's the deal. TOS equipment can be special downloaded, and several pieces of equipment say this personnel type gains this skill or this skill or this skill. So, the way it had been ruled for me, and the way I had ruled in the past was, those things, since they are always on, as soon as you download them, you get to choose, and boom, they happen, and you get that stuff. The one piece of equipment that's different is a classic communicator, because you have to say, all right, this personnel is going to share a skill with this over here, and it's more of a, when you play it, you get to choose. Well, now, and I saw that as something different, and that's how I was brought up, if you will. It looks like all of them have been put on the same boat now, so that now anytime you download them, you get to choose and get all the good stuff. So, yay for TOS, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to have a special download for that. Otherwise, if it's going to be it could just be a download. If you're not going to use it
Sure, but
when you're bringing it into play.
yeah, I mean, I guess from a game space mechanic, to say you may download a card is a lot more space, and they already have a lot of stuff going on. But yes, I see your point. If you're not going to take advantage of the, oh, well, look what I've got in my pocket, and it automatically does what it does, why is it even on there? But yes. Is there something that specifically downloads the special, the classic communicator, or is it just usually get with FOS?
No, I want to say Mirror Kirk gets it.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else too.
All right. Well,
I think they both have all of the TOS equipment are downloaded by one Mirror personnel and one Classic personnel.
Oh, okay. Well, all the rules have been streamlined, so at least we have some semblance of order for that.
Ooh,
and there we go.
Lieutenant O'Brien.
Right.
Lieutenant O'Brien, he also gets it.
I tend to pass him up usually because you can't get him with the ship, and he doesn't do all that stuff. But okay.
Yeah, I mostly get it with Kirk because he already is getting Tantalus Field for me.
Yeah, the Tantalus Field. Yes. All right. Well,
Yay.
good. Was there anything else in that rules update? Oh, the card of the day is the DCS. That is a nice looking card. Anyway, let's see. Anything else? October rules update. Let's see. Small change to scouting rules. Oh yeah, very small change to scouting rules. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah.
All right, so you can't scout a mission without a points box?
Indeed.
That's not so small.
No.
That's kind of huge, in fact, and I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah, I back in the day, I was trying to get the retask deck to work a long time ago. And
Yeah.
You go to space, you attempt, it doesn't matter what's there, you're not going to get any points, but you're going to get a ship out of it. And then go do something with your big cube. Never worked because retask is way too easy to cancel, and then you spent all of your setup to do this thing that was canceled by one card, and you're out of luck. But yeah, speaking as a player, I can't think of any reason why Space is still on the ban list now, other than it's only used in annoying decks anyway. So why should it come back? But that was the real trick, getting Harness Particle Harness Particle at a space mission. So wait a minute, hold on a second. You may only scout a location that has a point box. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about targeting a location. I was worried that Harness Particle doesn't target the location; it targets the outpost or the Omega Particle.
Outpost.
But since you can't scout there at all, okay, doesn't have a point box. You can't do anything there. Very good. All right. Let's see. Anything else in red here? There was a bit about dilemma resolution triggers and multi-selection dilemmas that don't go away if you. A dilemma has multiple sections, below which say to discard the dilemma based on the triggers, targets, conditions, are interpreted only as ignoring that section. So it's only discarded if you do everything. All right. Well, it looks like some ore dilemmas might have gotten better, but I think we'll see the fallout of that as it goes. All right. Well, good. I mean, clarity is always better than not, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yes, organ theft is still on the ban list. All right. Anyway, let's see.
Yay.
What else do we have on our list? The raffle results. So we did the raffle last weekend. We squeaked it out in a quick 31 minutes, which is better than we have in the past. So yeah, I was on the move, and I actually had more cards to give away in the chat room than I have in the past. I brought 9, 3 of each this time, and everything was taken care of. Congrats to all the winners. If you didn't get to the chat room, you missed out, because like I said, I gave away 9 pretty awesome cards. You can see all the results if you go to the Promenade and then the 2014 third quarter raffle. I've made a commitment to get the bins up by the end of the weekend, so we'll see how that goes. Should have more time on Sunday than Saturday. So say we all.
Yes, indeed.
Then as a planning mode, I think the raffle is probably going to be the second weekend of January, since the first weekend, if you saw the announcement, is already spoken for.
Yes, indeed.
Big event, San Diego. Come and stay where it's warm. But I'm looking at the second weekend of January, probably early in the morning this time. We'll go back to like 8 o'clock in the morning, so it'll be a reasonable time on the 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We'll see how it goes. But that's my plan. It will be finalized when the bins go up, because I had to put in the time. So that'll go on the calendar. Everyone will know when their stuff is. I've got Charlie has declared that a stack of Worlds promos will be going into the next raffle. So there's going to be a few bins where you can bin one of each, all 3, and there'll be a few bins where you can just put in for just one of them if you don't want to test your luck at getting a full set. So, and I might even have 1 or 2 to give away in the chat room as well during the event. I also will probably have one of. Can you see over my shoulder here what's on the floor? Know what that is? Wait, I gotta talk so you can see it. That is a ton of playmats that are about to go out. The playmats are ready to go. I might have one of those. You're frozen with your head tilted sideways. It is possible that if we have one left over, I will throw that in the raffle as well. So you can get your hands on one of those. They are very pretty. They've got the Trek logo on the bottom, and starting tomorrow, I'm going to send the first 2 out. So there you go. Rogue, come back. Where are we gone? Frozen in time and space. All right. 2E results. So there was.
Tubes.
Oh, there you are. You have returned. Are you back? I heard you briefly. You said tubes. It's a series of tubes. You were looking at the internet.
Enjoying a frozen image of your playmat tubes.
Yes, very good. At least you figured out what they were. All right. I'm looking at the tournament. The next thing on my list was something that you were going to talk about, so I rolled ahead to the 2E results. Looking at the tournament results, it looked like there were 4 people showed up, and Charlie took first with a.
Yeah, I think you mean 1E results.
Yeah.
Because I'm very jealous because Charlie won with the deck that I wanted to play next.
Yeah, Yeah, there's a
Which
lot
is,
of Maquis and there's a lot of Mirror. So I'm guessing he used. I'm looking for a station. I don't see one on here. Oh, there it is. Mirror Terran Rebellion HQ, Mirror Terran Nor, and a Federation outpost crossover. Looks like a fun uh, Imperial for the Imperial Cause version 2.0. It looks like a fun kind of evil Federation type deck, huh?
yes, indeed. I remember seeing several people floating some just generic Maquis, not specific logo, property logo Maquis in a number of decks, and the one I enjoyed the most was Ken Tuffs with his Mirror Quadrant when we were at Gen Con, and I remember thinking immediately that that was the next turn deck I wanted to play when we had played 1E. So I'm glad to see it did well. I'm glad to see Charlie had fun with it. I remember seeing him posting on Facebook over the weekend. He was like, "I really like my deck, but it's too slow." But I guess it was fast enough to beat Matt in a head-to-head at the end to win the tiebreak for victory points.
Yeah, nice. Perhaps we will. Perhaps we will get one of them on to talk about how it went. Looks like Matt was playing Romulan, some sort. Oh, I would have liked to see that Charlie versus Thomas game because he was playing Terran
Yes.
Empire. That would have been fun. And JD was playing a Fed deck, so we'll get some more details and see if we can get an answer on that. 1E OTF.
Yeah. Nobody plays KCA like Thomas.
Yeah, nobody plays a lot of things like Thomas, no doubt. So, Star Trek experiences. Next thing I have in my notes here. What do you have to talk about?
Nothing. There was no Star Trek experience. I was sad. I know there was talk a long time ago about it moving downtown to maybe
Downtown, right?
near Fairmont in Las Vegas, but I could not find anything about it online. I could not find anything about it there. The closest thing I got was parking next to an SUV with a Klingon Empire, a Borg, and a Federation logo. All in the back window stickers, uh, which is a kind of a combination of affiliations, but clearly a Trekkie, if trekking to an experience.
And that was your only Star Trek experience in Vegas is parking next to.
That's as close as it gets. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Disappointing.
I do miss that ride.
Yeah, well, it was a nice restaurant, and had a lot of
Yeah.
fun memories of that place. All right, well, bummer. Yeah, I heard the same thing. They were going to try to move it downtown, or at least most of the museum exhibits and things. But all right, fair enough. Disappointed.
Disappointed.
All right. Uh, do you have anything else before we move on to the balance of terror discussion?
I don't. Let's go ahead and do that
All
because
right.
I do know that I have some thoughts on some cards that look really interesting.
So I've been, yeah, I've kind of been in and out of the site due to random other stuff, but every once in a while I'll click on the card of the day because they've been burning through all the balance of terror cards, and there's quite a number of things that make me want to do quite a number of things with decks that I haven't had time for. What is the first deck that you want to build?
Uh, there's a couple things that look interesting. The DS9 Earth intrigues me most in concept, but I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of getting locked down there. Um, the Terek Nor also looks really interesting. I think I would probably start with that.
Yeah, since I played Tarek Noor as one of the three, because I'm crazy, affiliations I played at Gen Con at Worlds, and I kind of thought, that might be an interesting twist, because I was doing a lot of free people with, allies on the inside, and Kira, and a lot of burning your deck with the Romulans. It might be interesting to take out the Cardassian aspect and try to you don't want to try to do two things at once, but burning their deck with the Romulans and burning their discard or their dilemma pile with the Terra Nora might be fun, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting, and add a different dimension or an additional aspect to pressing that advantage. Oh, here's the card I like the most, or at least I was like, why is this only Borg? Strength in numbers.
Uh,
This is it's an event, and it's persistent related,
yeah,
but it's
that was interesting.
basically this is a much better version, and I've always I keep pushing that TUI needs a version of mission debriefing because it's so tough for decks to come back from behind like that, and this is a better version of there's that interrupt, was it surprise Amity, but you have to have drawn it, you have to have it in your hand when they complete the mission and they're ahead. This is, as long as you're playing Borg, apparently, and using a persistent dilemma, that happened to be there when they solve, it's like, bam, okay, you're done. All your people are stopped. Uh,
Yeah, this made
and
me actually want to play with a ship that I have never ever put in my deck, the Borg Queen's vessel, because it also deals with persistent dilemmas.
yeah, yeah, and then my only question is, why is this only Borg? Because this seems like something that should have been a generic, everybody can use this event. And I don't know when the last time Borg needed help was.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've never seen Borg and persistent ever put together. I mean, like I said, there was that ship in the last and What You Leave Behind, but
Yeah.
it just. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty rough. You'll have to actually use persistent dilemmas and discard cards to make it happen. But that'd be a pretty good incentive. Yikes! And it's just an event that your guy can get anyway, right?
Yeah.
At one cost.
This and there's another one, a couple actually. The persistent dilemmas in this set too are also very good. And I always joke. I tell Charlie every time a new set comes out that references persistent. I give him a hard time for all the Mean Girls fans out there referencing that. I always say, hey, stop trying to make persistent happen. It's not going to happen. But these cards make me want to actually go back and try persistent again. Apparently in a Borg deck. But have you seen those dilemmas? Those are pretty mighty as well.
Yeah, they remind me of the old Maxi Big Dilemmas, but they for each persistent, it's cost -1. That's pretty good, and they're only fives or fives and a six. Is that right? Five, five.
Yeah.
Yeah, that look fun. I don't know. Uh, I I seem to recall at one point a long time ago, took all the persistent dilemmas out of my binders and I put them in a pile, and pile pretty much describes what they were.
There are a handful that are useful. In fact, I don't think I have a deck that doesn't have a persistent dilemma in it because I really like those little one costers. Are nice to top deck. The one space and one planet.
Agreed. Maybe
But
the big fives that are here are what you would pair them with,
yeah,
to make.
you need to have something to go with it, and some of the bigger ones are not. Um, it's a
Strong.
good not strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, excellent. I
Pair
like
this
that
up
they were
with
both picking from the same episode too.
yeah, that same theme. That's cool.
Although it's odd that the Borg persistent related card was taken from early TNG, whereas the Queen is obviously Voyager. That I wonder if they couldn't find anything Voyager related left over.
Yeah, or maybe they were trying to keep the consistent early TNG theme for all the persistence in this set.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see that. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've managed to dance around the big one, mostly because I haven't gotten to it yet on the card list as I'm looking at it. But the big uproar for this set has been the new win condition.
Yeah. And I've been just I did the minimal research that I did was to look at some of these cards and find out what decks were playing them and how those decks were doing, and the results were I don't want to say they're not strong, but they weren't as bad as the crazy uproar made me think it would be. It's very
Yeah.
early, certainly. So we'll see how it goes. But what do you think?
I mean, I have no real basis for comparison. There's not really been a deck that really focuses on trying to get those dilemmas, a healthy amount of dilemmas in your core. There have been cards that could be good for it. I just feel like every deck is going to start running. Um, I'm concerned because this has gone back to we finally had a last set where the new affiliation or whatever was not immediately shut down by knowing it was coming, and this was kind of goes back to that because everybody's going to start packing old feelings.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, everybody's going to play this new dilemma thing. Now we'll throw the news interrupts in. That'll automatically counter it, and it's going to be another 6 months to a year before you play this without having that immediate obstacle to you. That said, it's pretty tough on its own. I mean, all of those dilemmas, or most of those dilemmas, are stop somebody, or you get to put it in the core. So
Yeah. I see. I see what you mean. I think a lot of the early days of was it unnatural selection were just brutal for the players that tried to play it because everyone else just said, okay, you're going to play with all planets. I'll put in all planet dilemmas and your host.
yeah, necessary execution, necessary execution,
Exactly.
necessary execution.
Yeah.
Anti-non-aligned, anti-non-aligned, anti-non-aligned.
Yeah. But this does, I mean, you need to draw you need to draw it, but it's an interrupt. And doesn't it do something else if you don't, to remove a dilemma from your core, opponent's dilemma from your core, does it do something else as well? I was searching for it, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, there's an alternate. It has an alternate ability, so it's not, it's not a dead card in your deck.
Which is, that makes it harder, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why what makes those cards good is that they can have another. It's something with a draw card or discard a card, I believe. And I went to the wrong page. I don't need to go to the deck builder. I need to go to the search engine. Old feelings. I'm sure the chat room's got it already. Stop 2 of your personnel. Choose 1. Remove a dilemma that has no cards on it from your core, in your core from the game, or take a personnel from your discard pile and place him or her on the bottom of your owner's deck.
Yeah, that would be hard not to put in most decks from now on.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's kind of disappointing. I guess we'll see how it goes, right? How many?
Yeah, I
how
mean,
many
you can only have 3 interrupt, and I don't know. A lot of interrupt recursion has been nerfed, but how many times can you keep doing it? Can you get 11 dilemmas in your opponent's core?
I want to say that the decks that I feel win often don't see 11 dilemmas. You know what I mean? It's over before I've seen 11 dilemmas. I don't get to play 11 dilemmas on my opponent. I'll play maybe 3 the first time if I need to, and then 1 or 2, and it's done, and then he's on to the next one, and then so maybe 10 or maybe 11, but all of them have to hit. I guess testing thought 11 was a good number, and there's only one way to find out, right?
The thing that I find interesting about this, the most interesting thing about it to me is dilemmas to me always seem like a secondary. I mean, a lot of people are really good at dilemma strategy, and I am not one of them. Like I'm the one who keeps lobbying for there to be a copy dilemma pile function in the deck builder because I play close to the same dilemma pile in most of my decks.
Noted.
But well, go ahead. Feel free to protect it, considering it's like 80 cards. But this, aside from having a kill pile or a focused capture pile or whatever, this actually puts, a lot of people put cards decks that manipulate your dilemma pile, but it's still a secondary facet of the game to getting on your ship and getting your personnel and scoring points. This makes if you really want to do it, this makes your draw deck secondary to manipulating your dilemmas.
Sure.
And I don't necessarily find that appealing, but I find it interesting.
Okay.
Go in and play Cardassian TOS, so I can get Mila and Lieutenant Sisko, and be able to cancel your old feelings interrupts, and overwhelmed. Is that the one that lets you people have to stop even if they get by it? So that might let you get to stop somebody and put a dilemma in your core. I don't know. Still pretty tough.
Yeah. I guess technically you only need 3 less because you can play a couple combined attacks to get a freebie, but it still feels like a lot. It'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to the next few 2-week tournaments around here, and I'm looking forward to playing the release promo because it's pretty.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, very good. All right. Yeah, that concludes my list. Is there anything else that we want to talk about before we cut out?
I did like that there are a lot of little one-offs that help other decks. There's a little bit of Ferengi help in here. There's the little bit of Voyager space, the Voyager 4 space. So it's not all focused on those few new major facets. So I like that. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up in the next 2E tournament. Should be interesting.
All right, very good. I don't think I have any more information, so there we go.
Well, looks like our next week is out because that is our local. What is this? The 8th annual, 7th annual San Diego Rocket Race.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Monday. I'm like, man, what am I doing on Monday?
No. This coming Saturday.
Saturday is spoken for, yeah.
Which you've all heard us talk about again, so we'll certainly give you a review of that. I don't see another tournament up after that, but I'm sure we will probably have something. I gotta guess since we played 1E, or there was a 1E tournament this week, in 2 weeks we'll have a 2E tournament. So maybe we will finally get some actual hard data review of Balance of Terror for you.
Yeah.
And have
that sounds good. That'll be maybe the 25th or the 1st. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm guessing the 25th.
Okay. Yeah, and on the 8th we have a gathering
for now
up here for more construction and some tribbling, and we'll probably end up playing the Pathfinder game too because that takes up a lot of our time. But yeah, sounds good. So next week at Rocket Race, the week after that probably 2nd edition, and then we'll be back here next Monday.
That's right. So that's all of our intelligence for this week. I'm going to go be sad that there is no more Star Trek experience, but we'll just have to make do with card gaming in the meantime. I am Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your power in the universe.
I will draw to end.